Welcome everybody to Dawn's Wednesday 12:30 intermediate class. Today we are working out of book number 15 and we're going to do the rainbow songs, Over the Rainbow and The Rainbow Connection. So I hope you guys enjoy these songs. I like them both, so we're going to have a good time with rainbow songs today. Over the Rainbow was written for the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz, and of course you all know it was sung by Judy Garland. The idea came to the composer, Mr. Harold Arlen, while he was in the car with Mrs. Arlen, and they were on their way to dinner. They were driving down the road on their way to dinner to Grauman's Chinese, and he asked her to pull over. He said he wasn't feeling very well. Can we pull over to the drugstore and pick something up? And all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, I have this song. So he took out his manuscript paper and wrote the song. Imagine being that talented to be able to do that. Now the contrasting bridge was later put in based on the idea of a child's piano exercise. So when we get to the da 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 da, that was just based on a children's piano exercise. Interesting. Yeah, they wanted to have a song that would be something that was for a young girl, you know, nothing too terribly sophisticated, but it really set the tone for the entire movie. So it was a very important song. And the American Film Institute named it #1, the best movie song on AFI's 100 Years of 100 Songs. So imagine not feeling well on the way to dinner and asking your wife to pull over and then all of a sudden saying, aha, I've got it. And you write it down on the manuscript paper and done. The #1 song on AFI's 100 Years, 100 Songs. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. And everybody knows the song. It's just one that we all pretty much grew up with. Song setup brings it up to smooth piano 4/4 at 75 with piano strings on top and a flute on the bottom. I also love it on strings 101. That's one of my favorite all-time backgrounds. The smaller instruments, Freedom 3, mellow, easy 8-beat, also comes up with the piano strings. And if you're in the easy instruments, 10s, 4s, 3s, 2s, and 1s, any of your smooths. As a matter of fact, your smooth piano, which is your heart songs, is absolutely fabulous on this. Just remember to put up your drums. And I would also put on one of your lower sounds along with your smooth piano so that you get some lower strings or a lower organ in your left-hand chord sounds. Okay? And you might also want to add some strings to your piano sounds in the upper hand and just fill it out with those orchestral sounds. Okay. Extra chords. There are a few. Now, I did take some out. For those of you that have also had this song with me in the advanced class, I took out some of the chords. So I don't want you saying, Dawn, in the other class we did this and this. I know. But this is an intermediate class, so I want to keep it a little more simplified at this level so that you can actually get through it. The F chord is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the high F. Put in a D minor, dinosaur minor. You can play that. It's D and F. Second measure, 4th beat. Over the F quarter note for bow, put in an F fish or an F7. The B flat is good for 2 counts. Beat 3, cross out the B flat 7 and replace it with B flat major 7. It's going to sound way much better. B flat, capital MAJ 7. Your 2 notes are A and B flat. Absolutely going to love the way that one sounds. The second line, no changes. Just take a look at that B flat minor, and just to remind you of what that is, it's D flat and B flat. Dinosaur flat and butterfly flat. Third line, last measure. Last note is an F for the word where. It's the third beat of the measure. Put in a D minor, just like you did at the beginning of the song. D and F. Let's go to the last line. If you notice, this is exactly a repeat of what we did at the beginning of the song. The A minor is good for 3 counts. Over the F for the word bow, put in an F or an F7. F7 is E flat and F. The B flat is good for 2 counts. Over the D for the word R, B flat major 7, capital M-A-J 7. Your 2 notes are A and B flat. The A minor is good for 2 counts. Beat 3, put in an A minor 7 if you wish, which would be C, G, and A. There's that B flat minor again at the end of the line, D flat and B flat. Page 75 or the second page, depending on what book you're in. Dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. No changes. Woohoo! The next line, second measure. The G minor is good for 3 counts. Over the B flat for the word far. It's the last B flat in that line. C or C7, chicken 7, which is C and B flat. The next line, no changes. The last line, way above the chimney tops. There is a D minor there. It's okay to play that one if you wish, but there's a much better chord. It's a D diminished. D, D-I-M. It's 2 notes. It's the letter plus 6. So D and A flat, which is the middle black key in the set of triplets, the set of 3 black ones. D and A flat. You're going to like how that sounds much better. Next measure, the G minor is good for 2 counts. Cross out the G or G7 and replace that with a D diminished. D, D-I-M. D and A flat. Third page. The F is good for 2 counts. Over the high F, put a D minor, dog minor. The A minor is good for 3 counts. Over the high F, F7. That's beat 4. The B flat is good for 2 counts. Over the D for birds, put in a B flat major 7. There you have it again. If that's the only new chord that you learn, you are 100% successful. A and B flat. The next line. Last measure, the G chord is good for 2 counts. Cross out the C and replace it with G minor, gorilla minor, which is G and B flat. Have to put that one in so you don't forget how to play it. And beat 4, which is over the A for can't. Now put your C or C7 back in. G minor, C7 to the F in the next line is one of the world's most common chord progressions. If you learn your chords in sets of 2 or sets of 3, your fingers will start to feel natural going from chord to chord. And G minor, C7, F should start to be feeling pretty comfortable underneath your fingers. The last C7 of the song, the last line, you have a G minor, you have a C7. You can put the C7 in parentheses. Yes, it's that chord progression, G minor, C7, F, but I'm going to take that C7 and we're going to do it on a stop. We're just going to stop the rhythm completely, and you're just going to play those last couple of notes all by themselves at your own speed until we get back to the F. And when I play it, you'll understand what I'm doing. Okay, let's go back and do some fingering. Page 1, F1, high F5. Now, you might want to put one of those little squiggly lines between the Fs and do a glissando. If you do a glissando, your fingers pretty much don't mean anything anymore. All right, so if you're on an F, your fingers don't really mean anything because this one is a tough one to do a glissando with. The only person I've ever seen use the pinky for a glissando is Marco, to which Betty Tobias gave me some weights for my little finger to strengthen it so I could do them too. But you can start with a 1 on the F, and then you can start with a 2 on the F, because remember that 2 finger, that gunshot glissando, is probably the easiest way to go up. I actually like to use my 2 and 3 finger together, held by my thumb, like I'm holding a guitar pick, because then I can just kind of, or push those 2 fingers up. You can find whatever's comfortable for you. Just make sure you stop on the high F. You don't want to be doing this. Don't go too far and then try to come back. So stop on the right note. All right, if you're not doing a glissando, it's F1, high F5. Let's continue. E4, C2, D3, E4, F5, low F1, high D3, C2. Now, if other fingers feel like going to the D and C, that's fine, because you're at the end of a section. D1, B flat 4, A3, F1, G2, A3, B flat 4. Third line, G2, E1, F2, G3, A4, F2. Check mark. A check mark means you're going to take a breath with your hand. Lift your hand and reposition it. Again, F1, high F5. Unless you're doing a glissando there, then your fingers don't really mean anything. Last line, E4, C2, D3, E4, high F5, F1, D3, C2, or the D and C, whatever fingers get there first. Low D1, B flat 4. Top of the second page, A3, F1, G2, A3, B flat 4, G2, E1, F2, G3, A4, F2. Check mark. Take a breath with your hand. Lift your hand and reposition it. C3, A1, C3, A1, C3, A1, C3, and one more time, A1, C3. The next measure is all B flat 2, C3, all the way across. B flat 2, C3, B flat 2, C3, and in case you didn't get it the first time, it's B flat 2, C3. Now, why am I doing it that way? Because there is one where it's all going to change. Third line, D4, D4, C3, A1, C3, all the way across, A1, C3, A1, C3, A1, C3. Here's the measure where it changes. B2, D4, B2, D4, B2, D4, B2, but this last D, make it a 3, or else you're going to run out of fingers. You might want to put a little arrow on that D just to remind yourself that this is unconventional fingering. Heads up, watch that fingering, because it's not what you would expect. The E is a 4, E4, G5, D can be 2 or 3, doesn't matter. Turn the page. F1, high F5. Again, if you want, put that little squiggly line between the two and make it a glissando. You maybe don't want to do it every time you do that, but that's your own choice. E4, C2, D3, E4, F5, low F1, D3, C2, or whichever two fingers get there first for the D and C. Doesn't matter because you're at the end of a sentence, end of a section. Low D1, B flat 4, A3, F1, G2, A3, B flat 4, G2, E1, F2, G3, A4, first ending F2, second ending F2. We'll do the road map in a minute. It's not that difficult. C3, A1C3, 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 A1C3. Okay, let's go to the last line. B flat 2, C3, B flat 2, C3. Over that C, over the word bow, put in a little bird's eye, a fermata. It looks like a little rainbow with a dot in the middle. Then you're also going to put two parallel lines, and I wrote stop. Stop. Why? Because you're going to hold that C as long as you want. That's what the fermata means. And then you're going to not do a no chord, but you're going to absolutely stop. The rest of the fingers are B flat 2, C1 with a circle, tuck it under, D2, E3, and F4. Now, why are we doing that? For drama. Oh, because we love drama. It's just a nice way to just really put a nice flair at the end of the song. You're just going to stop everything, then you're going to play those 4 notes. When you get to the last note, you will play it at the same time with your F, and then you can hit your ending and end the song. Okay, you'll hear it when I do it. I've got it on song setup right now. Song setup, remember, is smooth piano 4/4 with piano strings and a little flute on the bottom. Okay, here we go. beginning. Okay.
Yay!
Now, the second time I played it, I did a little bit of embellishing. Did you hear? Every now and then I would do a second note or go up a note. The best advice I can ever give you from now till the end of eternity is play it the way you would sing it. If you would sing it by going up and coming back or doing a little dip or holding one note a little longer and then making the next one a little faster, that's the way you should play it. The easy play music is written as a guide, and you are the master. This is the slave, and you just do it the way you feel the way it should be played. And so if the background doesn't really sound like the way like your personality or the way you would play it, then that again is up to you to find the right background that is going to fit for you. I'm not going to play the whole thing over again, but I am going to show you what it sounds like on the 101 strings, which it happens to be, I actually prefer this one better. But everybody has their favorite rhythms, and this is one of mine. When you get to the part on the second page, there's a nice violin on the bottom. Yeah, so strings 101. And there are probably 100 other different rhythms that will work for Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So those are just 2 places for you to get started. Do we have any questions about what's going on in this song? Or any questions about what I did?
Dawn, did you use any presets in there?
I used rhythm preset 0 for the strings 101, which comes up to full strings and violin, and I used song setup for the first one. Now you have to remember, song setup is not the same on every organ. As we found out yesterday, one of the songs came up, or Monday maybe it was, one of the songs came up on this organ at a slower speed and a whole different background than it did on that organ over there. So Bill Curry just did that. Every now and then he would change his mind and not repeat the same song setup. Yeah, why? Because he could. Why? Because he was a crazy man. Yep.
What was your tempo?
Tempo on this was 75.
Dawn, did you put a duet in here somewhere?
I
Yes.
did.
I saw
did.
that.
Uh-huh. When I was using song setup and it was piano and strings on top, and the second time I played it, I added harmony at the top of the third page. The top of the third page. I just reached over and hit the duet button. And it just gave it a little bit of fullness. Now you could have done it earlier than that. Just make sure you don't do it in the middle of a phrase. You want to do it like every 8 measures. You could have actually done it on the first page, third line, third measure, where you start somewhere over the rainbow again. So as long as you are in between sections, those are good places to change sounds. And you can do other sounds that are here. Now remember, if you're on song setup never brings up the rhythm preset button. It may or may not be exactly the same as what it would be if you were just going to smooth piano 4/4 in your rhythm and hitting rhythm preset. Sometimes song setup is exactly the same. 50% of the time, it is not. 50% of the time, they have chosen, or Bill Curry has chosen sounds that are completely specifically for this song. So if you decide you would like to change more presets than that, the next button you have to push would be the normal rhythm preset. Okay, normal rhythm preset comes up to piano and strings on the top, but it comes up to a different sound on the bottom. It's an English horn instead of the flutes. Ramon.
Yes. You said that these rhythm button does not go on when you start song setup. Would you
Correct.
suggest putting it on before?
No.
After?
I do not. No, because if you put it on, you're taking away the 2 sounds that Bill Curry thinks are perfect for Over the Rainbow. Okay? I highly suggest you start with whatever song setup gives you. Whoops, that one. I was on a rhythm preset. All right. So, what it comes up to song setup is piano strings and a flute with a duet on the bottom.
Okay.
Which he thought was better for Over the Rainbow. When you go to the rhythm preset, it comes up to the piano and strings on top. That stayed the same, but it came up with an English horn on the bottom. So my suggestion is, if you are done with the 2 sounds, or you may not like the 2 sounds that Bill Curry gives you, that's okay. Then the next button you push is absolutely the normal or the rhythm preset. Because what that does now is it has changed all 10 of the general presets to be rhythm presets for that smooth piano 4/4 background.
Right. Okay.
Because
Thanks.
if you don't do that, and you decide, okay, I want to go to some other sounds, and you decide, okay, I am going to now pick number 5. It's perfect for Christmas hymns and carols, but that's not going to work real well for Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Or if you hit number 2, general preset 2 is going to be a big pipe organ. Somehow I don't relate that to Dorothy and Toto. So if you do hit the rhythm preset button, it now changes all 10 of these to be fabulous setups for the background that you are on. So use the 2 sounds that the song setup gives you. It never lights up a rhythm preset. And when you are done with those 2 sounds, or you don't like those 2 sounds, then go to rhythm preset and try 1 through 10 and see if you can't find something better.
Hey, Dawn.
Yes?
Okay, last page, first page, your chord on the last line, last measure. You had what, B flat, and then what was the next line? I missed that one.
After the B flat major 7.
Yeah, you had and. Okay, B flat major 7.
B flat
Okay.
major 7, yes.
B
Just
flat,
like it is at the
okay,
top of the
thank you.
page.
This is the same. Okay, B flat major 7. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
It just makes it sound so much better. I know they put a B flat 7 in this book, and if you try the B flat 7, it's not going to sound, and you're going to say
That is
something's
good.
not right here. But if you
Okay.
make it a B flat major 7, that's what it needs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have questions? How we doing on time?
Dawn,
Yes.
on the last line, the A minor, did you put another chord in there?
The last line of the first page,
Yes.
I just added an A minor 7. You can put it in or not.
I just added A minor 7.
Sure. Just you can, it's an A minor. After the A minor, you can put in an A minor 7. But not that big of a deal. Because 7s, as you know, 7s are always optional. So you never have to worry about it.
Can I ask you to do one thing for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
You faded out, and I was like desperately trying to get you to come back. Your picture was there, but you weren't talking. The last page, can you just say the chords, go right through them?
Okay. The
Actually,
last page.
Yeah, okay.
The F chord's good for 2 counts. Over the high F, D minor.
Yeah, just say them. I know where they
Okay.
go.
All right. A minor. F7 is a new chord.
Yep,
B flat.
yep.
B flat,
flat.
major 7.
A flat, A minor, right?
B flat major 7 is A and B flat. Remember, major 7s are always the letter -1. It should be an exact copy of what you did on page 1 and what you did at the bottom of page 1.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Then the A minor 7. Then the second line, B flat minor, F, D, as in dinosaur, G or G7. Then I crossed out the C and made it a G minor.
Where'd you put the D? That's what I missed, I
The
think.
D is the third beat of the second measure over rainbow.
Okay, so it's just D?
Or it could be D7, doesn't matter.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yep, okay.
Dawn,
Perfecto.
I have a question from a long time ago. This is a really stupid one, but if you're no, this one really is, because I know you told us this ages ago and I can't remember.
That's all right.
A minor to A minor 7th. Can you just touch that, or do you touch the G, or do you have to lift up your hand and do the whole?
You can just touch the G. You can add it in. Okay.
You
We had
can.
this,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had this discussion this morning in a different class. When you play chords, I have always pretty much taught you, you have to lift, always lift in between. However, there are times when it's just easier to hold the chord and add another note. And I like to just add it with my thumb. You could add it with your pointer, doesn't matter.
But you still lifted it up. You still lifted your finger up.
Well, just to hit those two. But I could have just added the pointer.
Okay.
Okay? You can always add a finger to change a chord. You can never subtract a finger, which is why when you first started, I had you lifting your hand between every chord. But there are times, like when you go, one of the most common chord progressions is G minor, C7, F, which is actually in this song. We talked about it. You can play G minor, and then C7, you can actually keep your hand on the B flat and just add the C to the F. So you can always change a finger or add a finger, but you can never go from an A minor to a C. See the difference? You can't subtract a finger and expect the chord to change.
Right.
You have to lift and then put the C down.
Yeah.
There are times when it's actually more advantageous to actually hold the chord so that you can just move a finger or two.
Yeah. I just found that out the other day, that if you add another note,
Mm-hmm.
you look up at the screen and it changes the chord
Yes,
to
it
what
does.
you want.
Yep. Yep. You'll start to learn what's comfortable for you. And you'll start to learn chord progressions in pairs or in triplets, and you're going to start to see that there are certain chords that follow each other. Like a D minor G7C is another very common one. D minor, your common note is the F, G7, then you have to release that to get to the C. But because the D minor and the G7 share a common note, you don't actually have to lift that one. Okay? That just helps keep your hand in position sometimes. Because remember, what we're trying to do is not have to look at our left hand. We want that left hand to start getting automatic, like typing. All right,
Dawn, is there a chart to learn these chord progressions?
No, your
that you
fingers are
practice?
already, no, your fingers are already doing it.
Okay.
Just by virtue of the fact that you're playing the easy play music, your fingers are actually learning the chord progressions without your brain even having to know. It's called muscle memory.
Yeah.
When you do it often enough, your fingers just go, oh, okay. Have you ever played a G7 and you found yourself reaching for that C automatically? It's because you've played it so many times in easy play music. So that's a wonderful thing. Muscle memory is great. And you don't even realize you're doing it. Okay, let's go on to Rainbow Connection. This one's from the Muppet movie. 1979, The Muppet Movie, music by Paul Williams, lyrics by Kenneth Asher, performed by Kermit the Frog, who was played by Jim Henson. Jim Henson designed and did all the voices for the Muppets. The song reached, I can't believe this, but it reached number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100 in November of 1979. Like, really? That's pretty cool, coming from an animated, a puppet Muppet movie. I thought that was pretty cool. It remained in the top 40 for 7 weeks. Oh my goodness. Williams and Asher had previously collaborated on several songs for A Star is Born, so then their collaboration for the Muppet movie just seemed pretty natural. The inspiration for Rainbow Connection was When You Wish Upon a Star from Pinocchio, believe it or not. So if you're hearing any similarities or reading lyrics that are similar to that Disney movie song, that's because it was inspired by that. This one is number 74 on the AFI's 100 Years of 100 Songs. And it was also performed by Judy Collins, Leah Salonga, the Carpenters, Kenny Loggins, Willie Nelson, the Dixie Chicks, and Gwen Stefani. Wow.
And Jim McDonald.
Yeah, and it was, yes, Gene McDonald, and Kermit actually showed up to our store and sat on my shoulder, and we took some pictures together. So if you need those pictures, I do have them in the store. I had my picture taken with a celebrity, Kermit the Frog. That was actually very cool. All right, so it is a waltz. So any waltz will work. Your song setup on the larger instrument should come up to the bog waltz. The bog waltz. If you ever wondered what song you were going to play with the bog waltz, it's Rainbow Connection. So there you go. Now you have a chance to use that particular background. It's at 100 beats per minute, and you've got a banjo in the background, and it's got an accordion on the top keyboard. So those sounds would work very well. Also, guitar would work, strings would work. If you're playing on an easy 10, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3/4 pianist is perfect because it gives you a little bit of a southern country piano waltz. So the southern waltz or the country waltz would also work on your instruments. On the Freedom 3, it is the country waltz. And you
Dawn,
may-
what's it coming up on yours?
it comes up to bog waltz.
That's a style list?
That's on the style list, BOG waltz.
Wow.
Yeah, so use your song setup for Rainbow Connection. I think you're going to like it. I'm going to play it first. There's a few chord changes, but this one's pretty cut and dried. So here we go with Rainbow Connection. Bullfrogs, crickets, crows. Then it goes back to the beginning and it all plays all over again. Okay, so all I did was add the duet for part of it. The sound on the bottom is called Doves, which is a very interesting song, but they're trying to make it sound like sounds from the swamp. Because Kermit is actually sitting in the middle of a swamp on a log playing a guitar. And you all know what his middle name is, right? It's the same as Smokey the Bear. They have the same middle name.
The.
Oh, yes. Beverly, you should see the look on your face. Let's do some extra chords. I know, it's an old kid's joke. Line 2, third measure. Over the G for the word other, put in an E minor, elephant minor, E and G. Third line, second measure. Over that whited in half note, plain old D, dinosaur. Turn the page. Top of the second page, over the word nothing, over that G half note, E minor, E and G. Second line. Did any of you think that that F sharp minor was just a weird chord? It doesn't work. The F sharp minor, cross it out and replace it with B minor, butterfly minor, which is D and B. And then on the third line, second measure over the F sharp, there's an optional chord. You can keep it on B minor, it sounds just fine, or you can change it to a D7 because that's the lead-in chord going back to the A minor. But B minor still sounds fine, so if you want, that's going to be an optional chord.
Dawn, I must have a different version
Uh-huh,
because on the second page,
uh-huh.
the second line has no chords at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where are you putting in?
Let me do the lyrics. So we've been told, all those E's and B's.
Right.
So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. Then
Yeah.
the next note should be an F sharp. I know.
Right.
That chord should be a B minor.
B minor. Okay.
B minor, not an F sharp.
Okay. Got it.
I know they're wrong. Wait, and C. Over the word C, you can either do a D7 or stay on the B minor, whichever one sounds the best to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
And I think oh no, your coda. La da da dee da da do. Okay. Coda, second to the last line, last measure. Over the do la. Over the do la. You want to put a G chord, gorilla. The next measure, last line, over the la da da. Cross out the A minor and replace it with plain old C, chicken. And then over the D for da da da, D, G, F sharp, put a D7. One ringy dingy.
I don't answer it.
No worries. No worries, that's fine. No, over the da da da, the D, G, and F sharp, put a D7. That's the lead-in chord to get you back to the G. This is in the key of G, so if you were to start the song, you want to make sure your intro's in G. Let's go back and pick up some fingering. B1, D2, G3, A4, B5, B5, right up the line. I want to know how Kermit can play the guitar. He's only got like three fingers on one hand.
It's magic, Dawn.
Oh, it's magic. Okay.
Like a banjo. Kermit plays the
okay,
banjo.
maybe it was a banjo. Yes, maybe. All right, songs about rainbows. C1, D2, G4, G4, A5, right up the line. Oops, there's no 3 in that one. Low A1, B2, D3, F sharp 4, G5, D2, next line E3. Rainbows are visions. B1, D2, G3, A4, B5, low B1, C2, D1. Circle it. There you have to do a thumb tuck. G4, G4, A5. Low A1, B2, D3, F sharp 4, page turn G5, D2, E3 at the end of that held E, check mark. So we've been told all those E's and B's are 2s and 5s. Just go back and forth between 2 and 5. When you get to the F sharp, it's a 3. F sharp 3, F sharp 3, F sharp 3. A5, F sharp 3, D1, F sharp 3. Someday we'll find it. C1, E2, G4. F sharp 3, G4, D1, D1, F sharp 3, A5, F sharp 3, G sharp 4. Low B1, C2, E3, G4, B5, B5, A4, G3. Okay, that's the first ending. Then the second time you play it, you're going to jump over to the second ending to G3, A4, G3, A4. B5, A4, G3, D1, D1, E2, F sharp 3, G4, D1, E2, G3, A4, B5. We'll do the road map in a minute. Let's go to the coda. G3, A4, G3, A4, B5, A4, G3, D1, D1, E2, F sharp 3, G4, D1, G4, F sharp 3, and G4. Did I lose anybody?
Yeah.
Nope.
Can you just-
Uh-oh.
Dawn, what was the top line of the third page?
Top line of the third page. Okay, the
Oh.
second ending.
Yeah.
G3, A4, G3, A4.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, let's
can
do
you-
the
Can you
road
repeat the
map.
chords from the coda?
Yes, the chords in the coda.
Yeah.
The
G.
chords that I put in were
Yeah.
at the end of the second to the last line. The D half note and the D quarter note, do la. Put a G over the first beat.
Oh, okay.
La da da dee da da do. La.
Put a
last-
G there?
The last line, a G, gorilla.
Okay.
Then the next measure, cross out the A minor and replace it with C. La da da.
Okay.
And then the next measure, da da da. Put a D7 over the D. Dog 7. La
Yeah, I
da
don't
da
have-
da.
Okay. It doesn't matter. I don't have what you're telling me that I should have.
Oh, you don't have the la da da's?
On the last coda, I have G under me, and then under la da da D, there's a D under the A note,
There's a D.
right?
Then
And
the
then
next
I have
measure,
a
it's an E minor.
Right,
Then the next measure, there should be nothing.
right.
Put a G.
Okay.
Instead of nothing, put a G.
Okay.
Okay. Then the next
Yeah.
measure, it should say A minor. Cross it out and put a C.
Okay. I don't have the A minor. All I have
okay.
is another G left, and that's it.
Okay. Then put a C. Then put a D7 over the da da da, and then a G.
7 and a G. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yep, I know different versions make it a little
Yeah.
different. Now, let's do the road map, and then I'm going to tell you how I played. And I pretty much played it straight, but when we got to the Someday We'll Find It, which is the chorus, I played it the way Kermit sings it, because he just cuts everything off. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. That's how he sings it. So I kind of played it that way, but you can play it straight. You can play it exactly the way it's written and be absolutely fine. If you need to listen to Kermit, Go to YouTube and pull it up, and you'll see him sitting on his little log in the middle of the swamp with his little 3 fingers playing the banjo. It's pretty cute.
One more question. You said tempo 100?
Tempo 100.
Okay.
Now let's do the road map. There are 3 verses. All of page 1, then you play all of page 2, first ending. Then you got a lot of rests, and you change your chords, and the dots take you back to the beginning of the song. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered, and wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of it, and someone believed it. Look what it's, turn the page, done so far. Keep going. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and second ending. So you want to go from the and down here up to the second ending on the top of the 3rd page. Me. All of us under its spell, this is the bridge, we know that it's probably magic. Now you have 2 thin lines and some instructions. DC al coda, that means da capo al coda, go back to the head of the song, which is the beginning. So if you're color coding, whatever color you put there goes back to the beginning again. And now we do verse 3. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. It was probably Big Bird. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and coda. Now it says to coda. So the same place that you jumped off to go to the second ending, that's the same place you're going to jump forward to the coda. Remember, you never go backwards to a coda. Codas only send you forwards, and coda means tail. So it's always the last ending of a song. So then you go from here, after the 3rd verse, you go to here and play the la da da da's. Now the same thing holds true on this when you go to song setup. It's only going to give you 2 sounds. So if you don't like those 2 sounds, or you think you might need something else, then the next thing you do is go to rhythm preset. It may or may not give you the same 2 sounds. It did, because bog waltz is kind of a signature, but it has now changed all 10 of your presets to be rhythm presets for a bog waltz. So in this case, when you said, can I just press rhythm preset to start the song, you actually probably could, because it's the same 2 sounds. So as long as you test that out first, just don't ignore the fact that 50% of the time, when you go to song setup, the 2 sounds that are chosen for the song are not in your rhythm preset. They're 2 completely different sounds. Any questions about that? So if you want more sounds, then the next thing you do after you exhaust using those 2 sounds, go to your rhythm preset, and it will change all 10 of those. And for those of you that have the larger instruments, you can choose which rhythm preset do you want to go to, vintage or normal. So choose whichever one you want, and it's going to change all 10 of them to be good sounds for that particular background, not specifically for that particular song. And then just play it the way Kermit would sing it, and you're going to be good. All right, how are we doing on time? We're over time. Okay, we're over time. I'm going to let you guys play this one at home. It's a fun song to play. And let's see what we're going to do next week. Page turn. I can't get the page turned.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Puff. Oh, we had Puff in level 4. Yeah.
Where's
So
Charlie?
we can do Puff.
Okay.
And we can do Satin Doll as well.
That dial's good.
Yeah, we'll do Puff and Satin Doll, and so if you don't like one of them, you don't have to worry about it. You can eat your lunch or have some coffee while we're doing one that you don't like. And that's why it is kind of nice to do 2 songs. Okay, so Puff and Satin Doll for next week. Any questions?
Thank you. Nope.
Nope.
Just one for you.
Okay,
When-
okay, David.
When you come up with the banjo, for example, you've got your number 4, and how do you get your banjos? Banjos on number 9. Oh, there it is.
Ah,
I was looking to find out how do you get the banjo to resonate, and all of it was coming up, and the banjo was on the bottom. And it was just a banjo.
okay.
So I don't know how I did it, but I did. Okay. Thank you.
For the bog
You saved
waltz,
me again.
where are you? Are you in the bog waltz? You're in the bog waltz? Yeah, if you go through.
The box. Okay. Then I hit my preset information or the custom for 4
Mhm.
and banjos and euphonium.
Yep, banjos are in number
And
9.
I came up with
Huh?
4 there.
Mhm.
But is there a special way you can just bring up banjos with the vibrating?
Without the repeat? Where did I
Yeah.
find that?
No,
I
not
think-
without. If you do, well, you just go back to.
Yes, you can.
Just-
Now, if you go to now, you're talking about sounds. The bog waltz has the banjos actually in the background. But if you'd like to put
Okay.
banjos in your melody, then yes, then you'd want to go to bog waltz, rhythm preset number 9 gives you the banjos with the repeat. If you would like a banjo with no repeat, go to the category preset country. Category preset country number 6 gives you a banjo with no repeat.
Okay. Okay. And that's what I was getting. But then if I wanted to add the repeat on that, how do you do that?
Okay, if
don't.
you wanted to get a repeat on that, the easiest way is to go to country number 7 and go to the lower. So country number 6 upper,
Got it.
country number 7 lower.
Got it.
Got it? Yeah.
What I was looking for.
Okay.
Because, well, I think Kerry went over that, but he went over it so fast. He was into the next thing before I was beginning to digest what he was saying.
Okay.
Anyway, I missed.
Puff the Magic Dragon?
Uh-huh.
What book is that in? Do you know?
Do you, Inez, did you do the Lowry Magic songbooks? The reds, the blues, and the greens?
No.
You didn't do any of those? Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's in number
Never had to be
number
here.
4. It's in red 4. I will scan you the song if you need it. Just shoot me an email so I don't forget.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Anytime
Yeah.
you need a song,
Okay,
let me know.
thank you.
Yeah, hey, Dawn,
Yeah.
you know, even though I like the in-person class, you know, when we're going to the physical class, I really like Zoom better because I'm able to follow you better on Zoom than in the class.
Really?
thank- Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well,
You're
I'll
good
tell you what, it does take more prep work for me because I have to be talking for 45 to 50 minutes straight through, if not more than that. And it does take more prep work, but I'll tell you what, I kind of enjoy teaching this way too. Because
It's paying off. You're doing
And you
a
know
great
something, you
job.
can leave your microphone inside that holder. You don't have to keep taking it out.
guess what?
What?
Guess what? I just haven't figured out how to use it yet. So I've got it right here. I have a wireless headset. So I just have to learn how to use that and how to plug it into my mixer here so that I can have the microphone just like what Robert uses and
Right,
never have
yeah.
to worry about this. Yep, so that's my next project is to learn how to use my wireless headset.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. But I can't actually just leave it in here because the minute I would turn away from the microphone, you can't hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if I have a headset, then no matter where I turn,
right.
you guys will be able to hear me.
Mhm.
So that should
So
be
in
better.
your spare time, figure it out.
So hurry up
And you
and figure it out, right?
figure
Yeah, it just came in the mail. It was exciting. It's like Christmas.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep. You guys are absolutely fabulous. If you have any more questions, do not hesitate to email me and let me know what you think, or I'm open to suggestions for anything. You know that. If you want to learn something a little specific, let me know, because I can always throw stuff like that in, like talking about song setup and rhythm presets and all that. I'd like to talk a little bit about the organs as well, so that you don't have to wait for the product classes, because as good as they are, you're not going to get them every single week.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if we can
No.
talk about those same features during our regular class, one at a time, as it applies to whatever song we're doing, don't be afraid to ask me those kind of questions about your instrument. Okay.
Dawn, what's your email again?
My
Dawn?
email is 5028 at FletcherMusic.com.
5028 at Butcher Music.
Yep, FletcherMusic.com, absolutely. Don't be
Thank you.
afraid to email me anything you want.
5028. Thank you.
Puff the Magic Dragon is also in book for Inez, 82, 123, and 129.
Okay.
Thank
there
you very
go.
much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Well, we did run over time today, and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
absolutely okay. I think we answered a lot of questions.
Mhm.
Thank you,
And who's
Dawn.
and who's going anywhere, any place anyway?
Yeah.
And Dawn, you get a time and a half.
I do. Wow. Yeah. Zoom pays me a lot. No, you guys are absolutely awesome. So don't be afraid to ask me anything about your instruments, about the music, about something that was said on a product workshop class, because I have been trying to key into those at least so I can see what's going on, so I can help you guys, so that if you ask a question, maybe it was something that Carrie did yesterday that you weren't sure of, don't hesitate to ask me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you guys
Yeah.
are the
Thanks,
bestest.
Dawn. Another
you.
great job.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah.
Very
Good.
much.
Job.
Thanks,
Very
Dawn.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. Love
See
you.
you Friday.
Great day.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Friday, yes.